welcome everyone. It's Friday evening, and it's actually the last day of the month, and I really like when the last day of the month is also a Friday because usually in the last Friday of the month I host the Olympics. Well, I haven't because I was on a break, but usually. And today. Um, Today we're going to have the Olympics, and it's going to be very interesting because we're going to have two events. One of them is multiple weapon usage, as the Olympics is known, like a qualifier event. And after that, we're going to have the final event where players can use whoever they want. Um, we weren't able to get a very large number of players today, but we still have eight, which means that all the players will be able to play in the final event as well. Um, Also, Captain Adler will be joining the final event. He was in this one, but in order to help the format, he decided to drop with the promise that he can rejoin and fight the last guy, the number 8 guy in the final tournament. Since the number of people is now different, we switched to a different format from to Swiss to round robin. It's gonna be a classic round robin, 7 flags, 0 on doubles. But for each round, for each of the 7 rounds that we have, we're still gonna have some weapon pairings. Some of them are for gameplay reasons, others are for trying to match them somewhat historically. So we're going to have the longsword with Isabella and Zera. We're going to have rapier with Martha and Marie. We're going to have shield with Marina and Connor. We're going to have hybrid, where all the characters that don't necessarily fit into one category are. And it's the largest category of all. We have Jendrik, Kalkstein, Sava, and the new addition Jakub. We're going to have Hungarian Western Saber, Jacek, Laszlo, and Tarna. We're going to have Polish Cossack Saber, Jan, Barabash, and Sam, and Eastern Saber, Gedeon, Hassan, and Alex. Some of these pairings are a little bit of a stretch, but we're just going to try to make them work for from gameplay for gameplay reasons. Okay, so without further ado, let's go into it. The weapon types are going to be randomized. So each round we're going to have a different weapon type. So it's not exactly the order. It's not exactly the order that we have there on Discord. So let's have a look at the matchups. Okay, so in the first round, it's Grid versus me, Subu versus Apostle, Togoshi versus Oki, and Mechanics versus Rats, and so on. Nobody's going to sit out any round, so everybody's going to play in every round. I also want to remind you that it's going to be based on points. So try to score as many flags as possible in each fight, because the whole purpose of the tournament is to see who is the most adaptable with all weapons, which means that you don't you have to perform in each particular matchup, not only in the ones not only win the ones that you're comfortable with, but also perform well in the others. So it's going to be measurable by flags. Points difference is the next criteria, and then match wins. This tournament counts for the rankings, for the monthly rankings, and the next one as well. So there are a bunch of points up for grabs. And before we do that, let's have a look at the rankings for this month. Oak is in pole position, 41 points. If he performs well in these two tournaments, he's most likely going to win the month. So let's see if anybody is going to be able to go past him. Pretty sure if he gets to the final in both of them, he will probably secure the first place. But if he doesn't, and one player wins both, then maybe. Then we have a bunch of people that have very similar scores. Mechanics 27, Subu 26, I have 24, Rats 21, Grid 19. I also have Captain Adler with 18. Captain Adler won't compete in this one, unfortunately, so he has a little bit of a disadvantage, but maybe he's going to win the next one. But yeah, a bunch of people fighting for the top 5 positions. Okay, let's get this party started. And the first thing that we're gonna do is see which is going to be the first round weapon type that we are going to use. Here we go. And the first one is actually very exciting. Very exciting. The Eastern Saber, which is Gideon and Hassan, who both use Turkish sabers, and Alex, who's using an Algerian type of saber. So Gideon, Hassan, or Alex. So these are the characters that you can pick for this round. Nobody else. We're also going to remove it. And here we go. We start with a bang here. And I think I'm actually, it's quite funny because the names that we have on screen right now, so Grid Square and me, are the first guys that will fight in the tournament and exactly in that position, so I don't have to put the names again. Grid on the left, I'm on the right. Gideon, Hassan, or Alex, or Dinis, whichever name you want to use. I'm too used to Alex, so yeah. And here we go. It's gonna be interesting to see Subu playing in this one because he was very good, Alex. Um, Also curious to see who other people are going to pick in this round. Not everybody. These are some characters that are somewhat more not as popular. Oh, Subu is joining. Maybe he wants to join the commentary. Subu, are you here?
Hello.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought I couldn't hear you. How are you?
Doing great. Yeah, doing great. Feeling prepared for this tournament. So,
Yeah.
hoping to put on a good show.
Yeah, thank you for joining. So, as you probably noticed, the format has changed. Not necessarily for
Mm-hmm.
the worse, though. We're gonna have a round robin. We haven't had a round robin in some time, and
Yep.
we're also gonna get to play with a bunch of weapons. I've actually split them into 7 categories, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be fun to see who is able to get the most points with all these weapons. Also, the timing of the round is going to be very interesting as well because maybe you can meet a very good player, but in a weapon type that you have more experience with. So it's going to
Right.
create a lot of interesting storylines. But that's what the Olympics are about.
Yep.
Always like this. Anyway, we're starting the first fight. By the way, we switched back to normal, 0 doubles, 7 flags fights.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I put it with 1-1 because I wanted to have a little bit of control wanted to have a little bit of control over the time of the tournament. Yeah. So Alex mirror, and I guess that's fine because not too many people know how to play Hassan or Getty.
Yeah,
And again, remember every flag counts.
the jump there and then the hand snipe right after. Nice. Yeah, I might see a lot of Denise in this particular one because he is obviously known as a powerhouse. But we'll see it all
Yeah,
depending on what people know. Tarnowski, obviously, for example, might be appealing to a lot of people as well.
he's definitely the strongest in this category for people who don't necessarily play these characters. Because, for example, if
Yeah,
we got somebody like Eve or that could play Getty, I would definitely see him as a favorite against somebody that doesn't usually play these characters.
yeah. Plus, he knows these matchups with Gideon pretty well. Even the new characters, I mean, he could figure Jakob out pretty quickly. It's not that difficult. So, or not Jakob, but Hassan is what
Yeah.
I meant.
Oh,
Nice. Oh, okay. Nice try by Venator, but he actually did get tagged there. It did hit his hand before he could do that back A. Although I like the intention behind the back A. That's why I almost praised him for that one. But he did
I
end up
actually
getting a
landed the
hit.
first time but didn't kill with it. But it's a nice
Yeah.
move.
Yeah, it is. I like that it shields the head a little bit. Some preemptive moves there. Venator getting the double, although his collarbone in his chest was also cut in two pieces pretty much. There's another one. Yeah, there can be a lot of doubles in this mirror because they're both looking for angles on each other, and the moment you do have an angle in this type of a mirror match, you often want to take it. So, if that means if both of you have an angle, a lot of the times it will be a double. That sidestep attack that Venator's throwing a lot of is very good for single tempos and very good for getting past the guard. And that's actually a nice try by Venator as well. That one obviously is a little bit slow, but you get more distance and you're able to attack deeper targets, so it's actually a lot harder to block that attack. You have to really watch your positioning. The A cut did not land, but perfect follow-up by Venator. Basically, it didn't matter that he didn't land it as a result.
Oh,
And
nice
nice. That's
trade.
a powerful cut there.
Yeah, GG. Grid doesn't, from what I know, doesn't really play any of these characters, so I could definitely see why he struggled in this one. He did score 2 flags though. Every flag matters, and the
Hmm.
position that you land in at the end of it also matters. But nobody's eliminated. Everybody is still in the competition, so yeah. Good advice for some good advice for everybody in the tournament, especially for those who are a little bit newer, like Grid or Togoshi, is try to focus as much as possible on the matchups that you're unfamiliar with, because even 4 or 5 flags scored can make the difference, even if you
Yeah.
lose a certain match. Next fight is Subu facing Apostle. Subu also played a little bit of a Gideon every now and then. And not only Alex, we'll probably go Alex for this one,
Hmm.
but just to say that every now and then I've seen some Gideon gameplay as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a pretty fun character as well, Gideon. I don't
Yeah.
see him played a whole lot lately. I think he's a little bit difficult to get into at first, but once you do, he flows really well.
Yeah, honestly, I would probably, if my opponent picked Gedi or Hassan, I would have probably gone Gedi as well.
Yeah,
Instead of going Alex because I don't know, it would have been a little bit too much. What do you think?
It's understandable.
Okay, Apostle right side. Apostle
Now,
does.
Apostle.
Yeah,
Hmm.
go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I think we were pretty much going to say the same thing, but he can play pretty much any one of these characters. Hassan, Gideon, we've seen them all, so I'm really curious.
Yeah, what's
Even
interesting.
Tarnovsky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's interesting. So he does play a bunch of sabers and plays them really well. But I wanted to say that he is one of the players that did try Hassan for some time. So it
Hmm.
wouldn't be very
Yeah.
surprising to see him try using Hassan. Right. So Subu's on the left, Apostle is on the right side. We're going for Eastern Saber, so we got Alexander versus Hassan. Versus Hassan, I would definitely favor Subu here, and not necessarily because of the character, but so the sheer experience with the character. Even if he doesn't actively main him right now, he can still play him at a very high level. And already starting strong, 2 flags scored. Yeah, catches him there clean. 3. Oh, that was a nice sequence there by Apostle. Um, a lot of people say that Hassan is weak, um, and I would say that he is, but not in the way that a lot of characters have been weak. Oh, that was a nice thrust of the body. Have been weak throughout Hellish Quart history. Most of the characters that have taken this spot of being the weakest on the roster were mostly because of problems. Double problem like bugs with the character or something like that. Like Marie, I think even Kalk was there at some point. Nice, nice retreat there by Subu 4-3. But I would say that Hassan is just works perfectly fine, and the Apostle makes good work of him here. His 4-4 works perfectly fine. He is fast. He can. Oh, nice side step. He can pretty much one shot. He has good cuts and all that. He's considered weak mostly because of his. Oh, and again that thrust. Um, because of his lack of tools and some and basically, being mediocre in almost everything else. Oh, nice, gets caught there. But if played well, he can pretty much hang with, if not with all characters, definitely with most of them. Oh, that was a beautiful leg void in 6-6. And again, a reminder that this round robin is based on points. So regardless of what happens here, Apostle has scored a very good number of points in a matchup that was not very favorable. Oh, and he actually gets it. He actually gets it right at the end, and 7-6, and he proves that Hassan can be used very well. Maybe will inspire some other players in this round to use him. But yeah, that's a very nice win. Still, Subu, even with the loss, he managed to score 6 out of 7 possible flags. So I guess that's not too bad anyway.
Yeah, good fight.
Yeah. As I said, Hassan is definitely usable. He can be used. You can win fights with him. He's not that type of like, you can just walk through him. It's more like
Yeah.
if you take him very seriously and you're patient, most of the times you're going to win. But you still have to take him seriously first. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Next fight, Togoshi versus Oak, and I'm actually quite interested to see the character picks here. especially from Oak, as he doesn't really play any of these characters. He did actually play Geddy for some time, but mostly because of some challenge made by Usami. That was kind of a half joke, but Oak took it seriously. Let's see what happens. And the last one is going to be Mechanics versus Rats. Mechanics in a very good position to finish high, maybe even finish first this month. He is the second place right now, but he is facing the yesterday's tournament winner, Rats. So it's definitely going to be a fun fight. Mechanics is actually going to fight twice in a row. Immediately after Rats gonna face Oak. Okay, Oak is here. Oh, I got an error with Oak. That's never happened. Try again.
Yeah, hopefully that's all you gotta do.
Okay, this is weird. Got the same error again at minus 6023. It happens every now and then randomly with people that never had problems connecting. Mm, okay, Togoshi join. Maybe Oak. I don't know. It's not working for some reason.
Hmm.
I'll give him Steam. He's on keyboard, so it should be fine. Yeah, that's why it's good to have Steam.
Yeah.
I remember there was a you were making a point yesterday about online and all that. I
Yeah.
think if you put all things together, I think we're actually quite lucky. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
for games like this, you never really get a community, a competitive community, or any type of competitive play. We got
Yeah.
that. And we have not one but two quite reliable um, tools that we can use in order to play online. It's not ideal, of course, it's not like online
Mm-hmm.
play, but it's still pretty much playable, and unless you have some issues, it's quite okay. A lot of people have kind of got used to it,
Yeah.
um, and just crashes. Okay, maybe something on Oak side.
Definitely rather atypical for Oak. I'm really curious what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Might be VPN. Let's try Parsec one more time. If it doesn't work, then yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That we're kind of lucky to have, you know, the community, the tournaments, the people who can host, the people who can compete.
Yep.
The Sometimes when I think about it, it's we made it work.
Yeah.
And there's one thing that I can definitely tell you, especially after starting hosting a little bit in Two Strikes and the UFC as well. There is one very positive aspect to playing on Parsec, playing a game on Parsec, which is it kind of brings everybody together. Like everybody watches the same stream, everybody watches the same fight, everybody gets the screen time.
Yeah.
Um, because with an online play, yeah, you can still like stream every fight, but for time reasons, then you do some in the background and some of them on the mainstream, and then the attention
Yeah.
of the community is divided. So it kind of loses that you know that atmosphere.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. Oak can't join right now, so I guess he has some problem, which means that we move on to the next match, and that is mechanics versus rats. Let's call Ratzik. Sounds good. It's from Kingdom Come, right? If I'm not mistaken. The name.
Yeah. The original name was based on that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Radzig in the game, not Ratzig, so it's kind of a play on it.
Oh, I see. I still like the rats name. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
just sounds. I don't know. Okay. So let's get mechanics. So Rats is going to play the next fight as well against Grid Square in the next in round two. Yeah.
Yeah, fun fact about Sir Radzig, the historical figure, is that he was the king's hetman in the time period that the game takes place in, so that's the rank he held.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay. Mechanics is left side. Rats is right side. This is still Eastern or Turkish saber if you want. Hassan for Rats, and Mechanics will play Alexander, and that makes sense. Mechanics has played a little bit of Alexander. Probably
Hmm.
his second most played character after Tarnavsky, I think. Here we go. Yeah, we did see earlier that Hassan is capable.
Yep,
And there we
nice
go.
hit.
Rat scoring the first.
Yeah, those cut angles and the stabbing too. I was really happy actually to see that that stab was working properly. I feel like it's not used very much, but it was great to see it working in that matchup.
Yeah, a second flag, and
Nice.
I was about to say something about not about these characters, but about these two players. One thing that I believe that could work into Ratz's favor is that with Alex, you usually need to push the pace. You need to be the one that not necessarily like don't have to be super aggressive or Piper like.
Right.
But you still have to pressure. It's a pressure character.
Yeah.
Mechanics likes to stay somewhat like middle, maybe on the back foot. Sometimes a little bit more patient, and yep, that's exactly what happens, and that's something that can be detrimental uh,
100%.
in a fight like this. I also believe that the most of our play styles are also defined by the character that we played most or play most.
Right.
For example,
Nice.
even when I play a saber, I still pretty much play like the rangy game instead of the exchangey close rangey thing that most sabers players like you or Oak do.
Right.
Like I
Yeah.
have a style that is obviously influenced by my longsword uh, style.
Yeah. One thing about Hassan as well is these
Nice.
two characters actually have some similarities with their footwork. Hassan is just more controllable, but he
Yeah.
does do a similar sort of stepping thing, and he's really quick when it comes to changing directions. So I think in some ways he can actually keep up with Denise really well in a way that some other characters might struggle to do.
Oh,
Oh
jump
yeah,
out of range. Yeah, Rats is controlling this fight quite well. And could be interesting here. We can see the second Hassan win over Alexander.
nice.
Not yet, though.
Yeah, yeah, I still gotta lock in this.
Oh,
Oh,
and he goes with
nice.
the low
Perfect lunge
lunge.
to the
And that's
body.
it. 7-4. Also not bad for mechanics, though. He did score 4. But Rats apparently in very good shape after yesterday. Probably with a good morale. And they can go on a second. Um they can go on a successful set of wins here
Mm-hmm.
by fighting against Grid now. Rats is gonna be left side, and Grid will be right side. And this is a match in round 2, which means that we have to spin the wheel and see what are the weapon types that we're gonna have in round 2.
And Russ Mitchell will be happy to see that debut of Hassan because he was saying for a long time that we were
Wow.
sleeping on him.
And we're actually getting all the sabers right from the bat, almost all of them, because we have
Mm-hmm.
three. We're gonna have 3 rounds of sabers basically. We have Hungarian Western saber, so we got Jacek, Laszlo, and Tarnavsky. Jacek is also depicted in the game as with the Hungarian saber, so I just kind of put them all together. I also believe that
Fair.
it's a pretty balanced category and also producing some fun matchups that you don't see every day. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Hungarian Western Saber versus Grid. Yeah, Grid is joining. So Jacek, Laszlo, or Tarna. I'm very interested to see who they play here. Ah, right of way thing.
Oh yeah. It's annoying.
Yeah, I wish I've been saying it for years. I wish I had some sort of like preset settings. I just click a button and these are all the settings that I have. So Rats is
Yeah.
left side, Grid is right side. Here we go.
Yeah. There's the issue of feature creep sometimes, especially with how it's been added. It's you just things creep up suddenly. There's a bunch of options, and it's not necessarily that the options are bad. It's just that they're cluttering everything.
Yeah. Here we go. Jacek for Radzig, and Tarna for Grid Square. I think this is a fun matchup.
Yeah.
Jacek a little
Yeah.
bit more speed, Tarna more power. Kind of the classic matchup. You keep
Yeah.
mentioning it. I forgot the warrior versus what?
A warrior versus rogue.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
like a fast, agile character who tries to get an angle versus a character who sits there and tanks hits and
Mm-hmm.
delivers a lot of damage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Feels like one of those.
Yeah, I would say so. Yazuk is, I'd say he matches Barabash pretty well with cut speed, and even his sidesteps, they might not look as explosive, but he can get an angle surprisingly quickly on you.
Yeah,
Plus he's got the dashes forward and back too.
nice. Grid gets one flag back here. Oh, and it goes with that forward thrust, the one that Hassan has as well. I mean, they're not exactly the same, but the concept is quite similar. And Grid is coming back in the fight, 3-2. Oh, nice timing there from Radzig, 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful. Very quick riposte there. 5-2. Rats could have a very good start here. 6-2.
Yep.
Also, it's not the main criteria, but if you win at a pretty good points difference, it can give you the edge over somebody that has the same number of flags scored. So if you win 7-2 or 7-1,
Mm-hmm.
that is
Nice kick.
more beneficial. And the obvious, if you win at a big score difference, it means that you're not leaving too many points for your opponents. 7-3,
Right.
pretty dominant performance here from Rats. And here we go. Rats in contention for a top spot in this tournament, 7-3. Okay. I wonder if Oak would be ready. YouTube shows your... okay. It's all good. Okay, Oak hasn't said anything. Maybe he's trying to... let's do the fight with that Apostle and Togoshi. Apostle can play all these characters actually. He's a saber specialist. And we have actually a very interesting fight in this round. It's going to be Oak versus Mechanics, with people who actually main these characters. So Oak mains Jacek, Mechanics mains Tarna. So it's going to be an interesting fight. But first we need to make sure that Oak can play. Okay, Togoshi is here. Apostle is here. Apostle takes left side. Togoshi right side. Jacek, Laszlo, or Tarnavsky. I think Apostle might go Tarna here. I know he likes to play him quite often, but we'll see. I think he's having a bug with Tarna. I think he has that bug.
Oh, I think he wants Tarna. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I think he simply picked Jacek. He said, you know what? I can't pick him. I'm gonna pick the other guy.
I think Landsknecht did the same thing as well, in the HEMA tournament at one point. At
Yeah,
least I
I
could
know
have
there
sworn
is
I
a
saw.
bug. I know there is a bug
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. For those who are unsure how to solve it, if you press really quickly, it might be tough if there's any sort of delay. But if you press the A button or whatever you've got really quickly, you can still select them.
Yeah, Apostle went with Jacek. Okay, and we see Laszlo for the first time. I
Nice.
one of the things that I really want every time we have the Olympics or any other tournament that involves using multiple characters is actually seeing all these characters. And we had Tarna, we had Jacek, and now Laszlo at least in one fight. So I'm happy. We'll see if that happens with the other weapons as well. I'm quite confident that we might see all of, or at least a large majority of these characters. Anyway, Apostle with a very good
Nice.
start here.
Yeah. Two
Oh,
cuts to the hand. Actually sidesteps that thrust. He got just far enough. You have to be careful actually sidestepping that one. Because you might sidestep into the curve of the blade, but it ends up being a double. But
nice side step.
Laszlo got some good
Swing.
sidewalking.
Yeah.
Not good enough here though.
Oh,
Nice,
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, Jacek with some good wins early on in the tournament. 7-1 here for Apostle. Apostle and
Yep.
the Rats already have 2 wins under their belts, which is great. Let's see if Oak could be ready. Okay, Togoshi's still here, and yeah, that's fine because we want to see the fight against Oak.
He didn't need Tarna. Yeah, he definitely did not.
I think he got so mad that he can't select. He just kind of went in and just went ham there
Yeah. Yeah,
with it.
sometimes anger is a weapon if you focus it properly. Although we're kind of joking about it, it actually can be true sometimes in games I've found. If you, there's a difference I think between getting a little bit angry or annoyed and then being tilted. Being tilted is always bad, but if you can translate that sort of feeling into focus, I think you do really well if you're good at doing that. Yeah, there's like different types of anger, I would say. Some that can be productive, some not so much.
Okay, Oak said he can't right now, so I guess he has something going on. Um, there's one more fight left in round two, and that is a fight between me and you.
Yeah.
Always great fights. And now with a bunch of characters that we're not that familiar with,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, really curious about this.
We'll see what happens. I'm not really sure who to pick here.
I'm not either. I'm debating between two, is all I'll say.
Between Jacek and Laszlo.
No, actually.
Oh,
Tarnovsky.
oh, I see.
See, Tarna could go really bad, I feel
Oh,
like.
look.
But I'm gonna go Yazid personally.
Oh,
It could
wow.
also go really well, because that's what happens when I pick Tarna. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes not at all. I
Yeah.
feel like Yazid's a little more solid.
Um, I'll mirror you only because I haven't really played Laszlo in a long time. I don't play Tarna at all, and I feel it's a fair fight either way. Like we're not, neither of us
Yeah,
is a
for sure.
Jacek player, so I guess it's
Nice.
oh wow. That move, I haven't seen anybody pull that move since Jacek was, you know how he was. Also, the way Oak plays Jacek is completely different from the way Jacek was played when he was OP. Jacek when he was OP he had the completely different meta move set if you want. No.
Yeah, we both found
I
a
just
move that
I just
works.
remembered that move.
Nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been
That's
away
how
for
it
a long
goes. Yeah.
time. I I seriously don't remember
Oak
much.
loves it. Yeah. Oof, that was risky, to be honest. I'm glad it landed. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that works sometimes, but only when the opponent is like very passive. 'Cause sometimes it goes through the guard. Nice, GG.
Yeah, great fight. I'm glad I found that A cut. That's a really beautiful move.
Yeah, it is.
I was just randomly pressing stuff, and I was like, "Oh, this one looks nice."
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah.
Yeah, and Oak likes it too, so I'm not surprised it worked once I found it.
All right. Oak said that he can't play right now, which means that we move on to the next round. Let's see um, what characters we're gonna get there. What weapon types and characters, of course. All right, let's see if we're gonna get sabers again. Yes, we got the
Wow.
sabers. All sabers came in the first 3 rounds, which means that the last rounds are going to be quite chaotic because all the other weapon categories are probably the least played categories, like the shields, the rapiers, even the long swords. I would say are quite
Mhm.
underplayed. And then we have the hybrid, where again it's getting thinner and thinner.
Yeah.
So we got Polish Cossack Saber. So that's Jan, Bara, and Sam. Three very strong characters, and I think this is probably the strongest category of of weapons. If you take all of them combined, like all of them are very good characters, very viable against each other as well.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun for sure. Here we go. Let's go into round three. Mechanics versus Apostle is our first fight. Apostle, I know his main, like, save your life main is Bara. Mechanics will probably play Bara as well. So we could end up with the Bara mirror here.
Yeah.
And after that, it's me versus Togoshi. Okay, mechanics is here. Apostle is here. Here we go. Mechanics left side, Apostle right side. I will be right back.
Yep. I'll take care of the commentary in that case. Remember, run Polish sabers now. Okay. Barabash against Samuel. It's a pretty classic matchup, and it's a matchup that can really go either way. These are both A tier characters. I think Bar is probably a bit higher in the A tier, of course, but like overall. But as far as this matchup goes, I really do think Samuel can give Barabash problems. So it's up in the air character-wise as far as who wins, and obviously the players matter the most. So both of these players being Saber specialists, either one is more than capable of winning. I would probably consider Apostle the favorite though, because I have to say, as somebody who names Barabash and has fought the Baramir with Apostle, Apostle's Barabash not only has a lot of experience, but it's one of the best in the server. It can challenge a Beers, it can challenge mine, and very easily win. Which is impressive because he not only plays Barabash super well, but we've seen him use Hassan, Denise in other tournaments, and just about every Saber you can think of. Tarnowski included. Someone said that Dusak is not a Saber, and I used to actually hold that opinion, but honestly, I think it's a Saber just like the others at this point. Obviously, the way it functions is not the same, but you could say that for a lot of other Sabers. So. Nice. Just a simple switch of tempo there with the feint, and mechanics fell for it. Very nice by Apostle. It's a very straightforward Barabash that he plays, but it works really well. And I think that's actually the issue you get sometimes when you hang back and play defensive. you might be fishing for those counters, but that's actually what the person initiating the exchange wants you to do. And so they might prepare for that, and then you, doing what seems like a normal thing, like a life-preserving action, that being parrying and riposting robotically, can actually put you in danger. But now Mechanics is doing a good job of baiting his opponent in. He's made a nice adjustment after those initial mistakes, and now it's very much a game. Still anybody's. And he's doing a great job keeping distance now. This is really what you want to do, Samuel. You don't want to get close if you can avoid it. If you're getting close with Samuel, you basically want it to be a kill shot immediately. So there's a perfect lunge there, right when Apostle was not expecting it. Of course, that can be countered, but Apostle was not quite prepared. It's not easy to do that mid-exchange. Nice feint does land. That does take a chunk out of the HP there. However, he does happen to hit the blade this time, so unfortunately it's a physics-based game, so feints will not always be able to connect. But you're much more likely to trick the auto guard. Nice by Apostle going in as soon as there is an opportunity there. Barabash is another one of these pressure-based characters. You can play him with the counter sort of style really well, but he's really about pressure. But it looks like Mechanics took it.
Yeah, Mechanics gets himself back in the event. Apostle was riding a two fight winning streak, and still managed to score 5 flags, which is really good. But Mechanics is kind of back in it, which is great for the event. Next stop, it's gonna be me versus Togoshi. And after that, we're gonna actually, you know what? We're gonna do all the fights from this round, and then we're gonna get Oak to try all his fights and play them one after the other, because he said he's ready to try. But
Alright,
let's do
I'm
these.
sure he'd be up for that challenge.
Yeah, he likes to fight. He has the
Yep.
endurance of a horse. That's fine. Left side Togoshi. I'm on the right.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by the Yon pick actually by either of them. He's a pretty straightforward character to play.
Yeah.
And obviously Venator is very experienced with Yon. He's basically a Yon main at this point, as much as Isabella, because of how much he's played Yon. Obviously Isabella is probably his strongest character, without question, but Yon is not far behind.
Yeah, I would say that I don't know if I would call him a main, but he's probably my second character. I've never
Fair.
really
Yeah,
picked him over Isabella when I was playing Isabella.
I see. Right, yeah. Why? But there's a double. Togoshi's probably pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, the YY is pretty tricky though. You can get punished.
Oh yeah,
Seen
yeah.
it
That's the thing with it.
yesterday, and sometimes it doesn't even land.
Yeah, it behaves really strangely. That's another reason why I'm not a fan of the combo. It's not even about it being too strong. It's just like it's weird. Like, it's just weird stuff. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But I do remember
Both good
there was
and
a
bad weird
time
stuff.
there was a time when the YY was like it wasn't blockable whatsoever. Now it's somewhat.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of like the double lunge.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes past the guard, but you don't know if it actually went past the guard because the opponent did something. Oh, the opponent did
Nice, yeah.
something, or it actually went past.
Yeah.
Needs to be looked at anyway. It's
Yeah.
a little bit
Yeah,
strange.
it's definitely a weird one. Yeah. Nice.
Scalp.
The
Well, that's how I
scalp,
like
yeah.
to call this scalping move.
Yeah, yeah. It has a the beheader. That's the name of it. Yeah, that's what I was trying to come up with there. But I love that cut, and Venator's been throwing it more often lately. One of those. Ooh, yeah. One thing about this matchup is the hand is a very vulnerable target. Uh, this goes for Barabash as well. Your hand can get struck when you least expect it, particularly in this matchup. It is always something to watch out for. That chop is a nice pressure tool as well. Stabs. Like, there's a lot of stuff that a yawn can do to another yawn to really threaten him. That was a great try by Venator with the counter thrust. I wonder if the corkscrew would have worked because it might have been more delayed. But it's tough to say. In the moment, of course, corkscrew is very risky, so you never know. But Venator does take it anyway.
Yeah, good fight, good yawn. 7-2-3 here. And next fight that we're gonna do before trying out Oak's connection is Grid versus Subu. Grid in somewhat of an interesting position here. He needs to start getting some flags
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that because every position now, especially with the new ranking system, every position matters. So if you take the fourth place or the fifth place, it's always better than getting the last place. For example, you get a few extra points, and Grid is actually right there, and a lot of people in this tournament are actually right there at the top five. So it's
Yeah.
really gonna matter. Um,
Yeah.
Again, not everybody is super invested in getting roles and all that, but it's nice. At the end of the month, you look, oh wow, I'm in top five. It's
Right. Yeah.
like nobody can say that I don't want to perform well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's always some extra motivation. Okay, did I get the grid in? No. That's how I see it, and I'm pretty sure most people see it that way. Is something like, something nice to have. Kind of, and especially since it's based on activity plus performance, it kind of shows that you put in the work and that you're active, and doesn't necessarily say that, oh, okay, I'm better than this guy, or I'm better than that guy, or I'm the best in the world. It's just more like I don't know, a nice reward for putting the time in. Okay, we're gonna see Grid versus Subu right now. Grid takes the left side, Subu the right side. Yan, Bara, or Sam.
Hey, you need to give me control, I think.
Sorry about that.
All good.
Yeah, Subu can play either of these characters, but most likely he's gonna go with his main.
Yeah.
And the Grid is also going with the character that he can play very well, probably his main, which is Sam. And we've seen this fight last week. Actually, it was a very close fight. Grid was able to edge it. We'll see if he manages to do it again here. Double. That's a nice quick side step. Strong start for Grid here. 2 flags. As I said, every flag matters, and he gets another one here. Of course, winning is the ultimate goal, because it gives you maximum number of flags while giving an inferior number to your opponent, so they kind of go hand in hand. But 7-0 win with the 7-0 loss is worse than losing 2 times but being more competitive in that specific those specific fights. 3-1. And I think it especially works for this type of format where people can't really play their main characters. Uh, they're put they're thrown in some matchups that they don't know or have never played or are downright unfavorable. Oh, nice. Goes low, then goes high. And Subu takes another flag. Grid doesn't back down though. It's 4-2. In this type of tournament, like the Olympics, there's always like a special pressure when you have to play with your main. Because you're thinking, okay, this is the time where I should be performing the best, and the history tells us that that doesn't usually happen. Most people perform better with weapons that they do not expect. Subu keeps his cool there, and he gets another flag, and it's 4-4. Oh, that was a nice riposte there. 5-4 for Grid. Regardless of the outcome, Grid has made a very good fight here, and he will be getting a bunch of flags, but he also needs to get some wins, like some maximum points. Yeah, Subu's being cautious. Doesn't want to throw this opportunity away of playing Bara. Oh, that was a nice thrust. And a blade beat at the same time, and Subu actually gets it. Both Subu and Oak are very similar at one thing, which is you hit them and then they immediately steal the flag from you. Very difficult to deal with that because you think they have the advantage, and all of a sudden they react with something faster. Yeah, this is a very good example right here. 7-5. Subu wins, but very solid effort from Grid as well. And
Yeah, great fight.
yeah, we're back to Oak. Let's see if it works. If it does, we have to do all 3 fights with different weapon types. Yeah, he's here. Oh, no. Please work. No, it's not working. It's not working. Let's try Steam, I guess. I'll try once more, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not working. I genuinely don't know what could be the issue. All right, let's hope that Steam works. Because this could really be problematic, especially since Oak is #1 in the rankings. If he had to bail, I mean, he would still get the points for competing, right? But that would mean somebody would probably take over without the ability for him to. Okay, if he couldn't play whatsoever, then that's fine. But oh, he's typing something.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Yeah, sometimes rebooting is what you need to do. I forget what they say. They say like 95 or 90% of issues can be fixed that way. But if it's not within that threshold, then I don't know. Yeah, the
Okay.
router as well. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna give him more time. Um, and we're gonna move on with the tournament. You're actually fighting again
Yeah.
against Togoshi,
Mm-hmm.
but now we need to find out what is the weapon type, and we're done with sabers. We've had so much saber play. Actually, it's actually not bad that with because sabers are obviously the most popular weapons.
Yeah.
But now we got only sword and shield, rapier, longsword, or hybrid weapon, which is a bunch of guys there with different weapons. Here we go. And it's sword and shield, which means Marina or Connor. So,
Interesting.
yeah, Marina or Connor in this particular fight. Is Toguchi here? Oh, Oak is trying to connect. Oh, Oak has connected actually.
Oh, nice. All right, that's
Yeah,
great news.
sometimes just rebooting the PC is something that does the trick. We're gonna do something different here since Oak hasn't fought at all. Let's do Oak's fights and then we move with round four. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds just fine.
Okay, Togoshi shouldn't have left because you were actually the first player that there. Okay, he was
That's all
listening.
right.
Nice. Okay, so uh, Togoshi is left side, Oak is right side. And they're actually fighting in the first weapon type, which is Eastern Saber. Hassan, Gedi, or Alex. So the first round. Hassan, Gedi, or Alex. Togoshi takes left, Oak takes right. After that, we're going to see Oak versus Mechanics. Oh, straight to Alex for both of them.
Yeah, I'm not terribly surprised. I think Togoshi played a bit of Denise in the USFC. I might be remembering somebody else, but
Yeah, I guess that he probably doesn't want to bother with some characters that he doesn't really play or he considers to be a little bit too weak in this
yeah.
matchup or quite problematic. So I totally understand. And especially in a
Uh,
tournament like
mhm.
this, it's always better to. That's the reason why I also picked Jacek against you. I was like, why play a character in I also don't know all the other characters too well, so just play the
Yeah.
mirror and see what happens. At least I know that
Yeah.
we're on equal footing, you know.
Yeah. And if you pick a character like Tarnovsky, at least for me, and you win by a lot, you'll feel like a genius for picking him. But then he's the sort of character where if you pick him and then you lose really badly, you're like, well, why did I just do that? You know, like I
Yeah,
could have just used
yeah,
Yazek, right? Who has a better guard and I don't know, he's just more straightforward, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Jacek is a character that any veteran player could play to to a point where you don't get washed by anybody. Maybe you're
Right.
not gonna win, but you know you can be competitive.
Yeah. Whereas Tarna, if you use his moves with a plan, then they are devastating. But if you don't have a plan,
Yeah.
or you're whiffing them, it's like you're wasting time,
Yeah,
and
Tarna is
then your
actually
opponent can
quite.
capitalize.
He's quite peculiar, which means that if you don't know what you're doing, it can end pretty badly
Yeah,
for you. Laszlo, I could say the same thing about Laszlo. Even though he's more straightforward, he still needs to be like you need to know what you're doing in order to make him
yeah,
work.
yeah. Oak just goes,
Oh,
oh, but yeah, Denise's guard there, it goes high, so ended up blocking it.
yeah, he was also a little bit slow with the punch after.
Yeah,
He was kind of surprised by the fact that he landed that punch. It happens to everybody.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Thrust attempt, but you gotta be careful with it just because if you trade, the thrust doesn't do very well as far as damage. It's a great setup move, obviously, for the follow-up, but you have to make sure that you're not being hit in the process.
Six to
Goes low
four.
there.
Yeah, for Oak. Jump
Gotta
attack.
say, yeah, even the people who aren't playing Denise very often, I have to say I'm pretty impressed with how they've been performing with him, though. They're definitely showing some good fundamentals, but
Yep.
Oak does take it.
7 to 4 for Oak here. Solid effort from Togoshi though. He hasn't been able to win, but he's a very new player, and a lot of his fights, in a couple of these fights, he was able to score a good number of flags either way.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna see Oak again fighting. As I said, he's going to be doing a little bit of fighting, and his next opponent is Mechanics. And this is, as I said, this is gonna be interesting because they're both going to play some characters that they know well. Oak is 100% going Yatsik for this one. Mechanics could surprise us maybe with the mirror. He has done that before, but I would still say that he's probably gonna go to his main here.
Yeah. Yeah, I would as well. I mean, Tarna and Skilled Hands absolutely can take on Yazik.
Okay, Mechanics is here. Here we go. Oak starts on the left. Mechanics starts on the right, and I will be right back.
Yep. Nevertheless, I'm really curious if he will or switch off from his main. He does use his main, and I think that's the right call. Tarna can cause quite a bit of chaos, and despite Yazik's guard, I think we saw in the HEMA tournament actually that Tarna can go right around a lot of guards surprisingly easily. But sometimes to get around the guard, you have to take a little bit more time, so you have to be really careful. Oak punishes Mechanics for that wasted time. And there we go. That's what Oak does. You make a slight mistake, and he's instantly in your face, and he will be punished. Nice attempt at a parry there, but he did take a hit at some point in that exchange. He does get the double, though, so nice by Mechanics to still try putting up a fight there. If, of course, he was passive in that moment, he would have been exhausted, and it would have been Oak's flag for sure. So, great by him. He does take a hit again, but we see Tarnovsky's ability to trade working pretty well in his favor this time, just because he didn't take a hit to the sword arm of the head. Nice, that's a double. Yazik has a lot of these wrist cuts, which are very effective. There's no question about that. But they don't necessarily hit as hard as, say, a shoulder cut that Tarnovsky does. So you do have to be precise with your targets if you want to make sure it's always a disabling blow or a kill shot. And I quite like how they're balanced in the game overall. compared to the big cuts. They all do different. They achieve different objectives essentially. Oh, I think Mechanics did a cancel there. I don't know if he meant to, but that does burn stamina. And unfortunately, he didn't have much at that time, so the cancel caused him to, when he actually did launch the attack, to do the tired swing. Which for Karna is famously pretty slow. There's some other characters that have slow ones too, to be fair. And Oak did a great job with the upcut into thrust. Schooling Venator and I, well, me in particular, I was using that as far as how to use it. A punch, but Oak backdashes out of it, which is how you get out of those types of attacks. And there we go. But that thrust was beautiful. He took control of the center immediately and just went for that stab. Hit to the arm there, did something, and a beautiful punch, this time getting the follow-up much faster. I think earlier he actually misinputted, and that's why he didn't quite get it, but Oak still, nevertheless, backdashing was the right move earlier on there. And there we go, it's a trade that benefits Tarna once more. Mechanics is making this a fight. It was looking great for Oak, and obviously he's still ahead. There's nothing to be terribly concerned about right now, but by the same token, it's very possible that Mechanics might be able to turn this around. There's a flag again. Oak a little overzealous after the blade beat to secure the kill. Ooh, and Oak with the cancel at just the right moment. I think he would have been mincemeat if he kept going. And actually he's tired now after all those cuts. So he does have to be a little bit careful of that stamina. I like that Mechanics is taking the fight to Oak. I think he's doing a lot better now that he's doing that. And it can honestly go either way. There we go. The combo's there, and Oak misjudged it a little bit.
Alright, I am back, and it seems that Mechanics going with his main character was a winning ticket here. It wins 7-2-5. Oak still managed to score a good number of flags regardless.
Yeah.
And we have one more fight for Mr. Oak here, and then we leave him alone for a little bit. Radzig, who's on a pretty good run here tonight against Oak. And the third one was Polisaber, right? Jan, Bara, and
Yep.
Sam. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
Pretty important fight, I would say, here. Because we got a bunch of people here today that I'm actually quite interested to see how, after this fight, we're going to have a look at the rankings. I think it's pretty close. I believe only Togoshi and Grid weren't really able to push through, but everybody else has got some wins. There were some close fights, and if this fight is close as well, it's gonna be pretty interesting at the top. Rat's left side, Oak right side.
Okay, Samuel against Jan.
Okay, Jan for
Again, a
Rats.
matchup that can go either way, I would say.
Yeah, Oak does play a little bit of Sam. It doesn't surprise me that he went with Sam.
Yeah. He did experiment with Jan a while back. I think it was back in his Laszlo days, when people were giving him a little bit of trouble with Jan, although of course he eventually figured it out with Laszlo, but he kind of experimented with Jan a bit just to figure him out. But yeah, Samuel, I would agree, is probably the character of choice for Oak, 100%. A lot more experience with Sam.
Haven't really checked the rankings, but the fun fact here is that Rats is the
Nice.
only player that can actually get a maximum number of points after the first 3 rounds. If they win here,
Mm-hmm.
easier said than done though.
Yeah, Oak with that beautiful hand slice. The hand just popped right off. Samuel's single tempo game, I think, is a little bit underrated. We actually saw that in my fight as
Yeah, yeah.
well against Sam. He was single tempoing me a lot, Grid Square. And so I had to be very, very careful how I engage Samuel.
Nice.
And again, nice.
Yeah,
He can do the parry riposte game really well, but that single tempo game is disgusting if you get caught by it just right.
yeah. I think Sam is definitely. If I think about the idea of a solid character, not only in Hellish
Mm-hmm.
Quart, but in a game, like that would be Sam. Like he's a solid character. He's not OP. He's not uh, weak by any
Yeah,
means. He doesn't really have too many powerful tools, but he's hard to beat, and
yeah,
he's fundamentally solid.
yeah,
Which means that if somebody takes their time and actually plays the matchup like Oak is doing here, it's a very difficult match.
ooh, yeah. The corkscrew attempt, but in doing so, the arm was a target.
Yeah, Oak with the advantage. Rats needs to try to score a bunch of flags here. If they are to go down,
Nice.
they need to have at least a good number of flags because it would be a shame to kind of lose the momentum. It's all up to them though.
Feints by Oak there, trying to see what his opponent will do in response.
Yeah,
And also harassing the guard a little bit.
yeah, it seems that Oak feels very comfortable in this fight. He's pushing
Yeah,
the pace. He's throwing some jabs, landing some very good riposte. I think Rats hasn't made too much work of Jan's harassing tools because Jan is exactly that. He's a harasser.
yeah,
He can
yeah,
harass you with like going Y, going Y, going Y, back Y, going low thrust, going cork, going chop.
mm-hmm,
So
yeah,
he's a character that's just kind of harassing you all the time, and you need to make sure that you don't fall into the trap of giving in. Just gotta stay patient.
yeah. Big sidesteps there. Oak does try the punish, doesn't quite get it. But you can tell that Oak is leading
Yep.
this fight, and there it
That's
is.
it. 7-2, straight victory, and that's it. Oak wins the fight. I think Rats played Jan too much like a like a saber. I know it sounds silly, but
Yeah,
Jan is meant to be played like something else, not like a saber. He's more like I don't know, a bunch of other things. Okay, we managed to get the 3 rounds done. I'm glad that Oak was able to join us. Let's have a quick look at the standings right now. So I am number one with 20 points. So nobody has 3 wins. So we got actually 6 people with a 2-1 score, which is crazy. Um, so I'm first with 20. Subu is second, also with 20. Oak third with 19. Apostle also 19. Mechanics with 18. Rats with 16. And on the last 2 spots, we got Grid Square and Togoshi. Unfortunately, they weren't able to win a fight, but the top 6, all of them 2-1, and the difference between number 6 and number 1 is only 4 points. So we got a crazy tournament right here, and anything can happen. So every fight from now on becomes a lot more important because you're fighting people directly in order to gain an advantage over them.
yeah.
Great. So let's move on to round four. Round four was sword and shield. Not a very popular combination of weapons, but it's kind of part of the idea, which is trying to make work of something that you're not very familiar with. And here we go. As I said, the first fight is going to be Subu versus Togoshi. I know Subu usually plays Marina in Sword and Shield, but we can also see a Connor. It's not very definitive. I'm not sure about
Yeah.
Togoshi though.
Yeah, I've had success with both of them, just depending on how I feel at the time. So
Yeah, there you go. Togoshi is joining, and you are on the left. Togoshi is on the right side. Yeah, it's a Connor mirror. Yeah, a bunch of retreat cuts there from Subu, trying to bait Togoshi in. Connor, a character that is in a very weird place. He is a character that is essentially strong, but doesn't necessarily feel strong, if that makes sense. Here we go. Oh, and it takes the leg there. That was an interesting combination. That's one thing that you get sometimes in these Olympics is when people are using characters that they've never really used before. They come up with certain moves that you don't see very often, and they can surprise you with them. 2-1 for Subu. 3-1. Nice retreat there by Togoshi. 3-2. As I said, this is an interesting combination. Of weapons. 4-2. I'm as I said. The sound because I have two sources. I'm not sure. Yeah, Subu has taken over. Is 6-2. A nice one again from Togoshi. Yeah, I think Subu is just being the more experienced fighter here. He's not doing necessarily something special, but just enough to get the edge. 7-3. Subu with another win here continues his road towards the top spot. And now we're going to see Apostle and Radzig. In Sword and Shield. Here we go.
Yeah, like I was saying in Discord, it's a tough mirror, so don't be discouraged if you're not used to shields. Just gotta be patient sometimes and just pick your opponent apart slowly.
Yeah, I mean this is what Olympics are for, and yeah,
Yep, but there are opportunities to try pushing as well, which I did. But then Togoshi did a great job with the back X. He saw me throwing it, and so he started throwing it. So I was a little hesitant to do that in the future. So good adjustment, but it can be a grindy fight between these shield characters.
um, okay. Apostle is left, Radzig is right.
Marina, okay,
Yeah, Marina for
and then Connor.
Rats and Connor for Apostle.
Yeah, this matchup again can go either way. I went with Connor even though I typically prefer Marina just because I think Connor's a little bit more solid. Marina obviously does the in and out and the pressure game better. So if I'm fighting a different type of weapon, I think Marina, I'm more comfortable with her. But as far as the shield matchup, I think Connor's just, it's harder to make a mistake if you do your best and to stay solid the whole time.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal opinion on the matter. Some people will want to go Marina for sure. Nice hit to the hand.
Yeah, I think probably Marina struggles a little bit more with the other weapons or with the other characters on the roster than Connor does.
Mm-hmm.
But in this particular match, I would say they're pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
Slight edge to Connor, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I think Marina really wants to beat the blade if she can and just find a clear avenue in and quickly capitalize on that opportunity. And as far as the push game, she might actually do a little bit better as well because Connor is slower. Marina might be able to get in and out faster, and if the push gets messed up, she might be able to recover a bit faster.
Marina's strength is when she gets close. She has a bunch of cuts that can parry the opponent's attacks, and she also has a bunch of good side steps. So it's not that easy to fight against her unless you're using like the well-known. What the hell?
Oh, what? He did the chicken dance or
Kick
something?
into taunt into something.
That was quite a combo, but it worked. I mean, I can't I can't really criticize it if it worked, right? Like but nice. That everybody who plays Marina or has played against her enough knows about that dash thrust. It's a pretty nice move. It is counterable, but it is a threat to your auto guard. And actually even Connor's as well if he's in the wrong situation. Not in this circumstance though, although they do trade. Nice, wow. The sword got between both of the weapons and hit the arm, so Connor couldn't respond to that in time.
Yeah, Rats back in this fight. They're pretty much behind in this matchup, but now it's quite even. Oh, beautiful.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a whiff from Apostle. Just
yeah, I think as a whiff punish, that dash is especially effective here.
Yeah. 5-5. Oh, a few cuts landed there.
Yeah, getting tired,
Oh
but
no!
does recover. Uh-oh.
It was an invitation there to come on. I'm open. Ah, and Connor still
Nice.
gets it.
The
I
false edge cut there. That's a tricky one, that cut.
It would have been a nice story there on that flag if Rats actually got it, but still well caught. There
Nice
we go.
blade beat. It can be blade beat, that thrust, and that's exactly what Apostle did.
Yeah, solid fight, but the Apostle was pretty much leading the fight with some good moments there from Rats, but still a good number of flags scored by both.
Mm-hmm.
Next fight is going to be between me and Mechanics. Interested to see Mechanics' pick here. I've seen him picking Connor before. We'll see if it's going to be the same pick.
All right, I'll be right back.
Sure. Okay, Mechanics is here. I am going to be left side. Mechanics going to be right side. Alright, let's go with the blue. Yeah, so as expected, it's going to be a Connor mirror. Okay, something's going on. I think Mechanics has some problems. Some lag, I believe. Let me see. Alright, just flick the long guard when you're ready. Okay. Nice. GG. Good fight. 7-1. Kana mirrors tend to be, can be, actually push heavy. But if there's one character that can counter pushes really well, that's actually Connor with the dash back. Good fight. All right, 7-1, and we have our last fight of round 4, which is Oak versus Grid. Sword and Shield. Oak has played Connor for a long time, and he was pretty good with him. But for some reason, I've seen Oak using Marina more in these Sword and Shield fights. We'll see what happens this time. Oak takes left side, and Grid takes right side. Yeah, he goes with Connor. And it's Connor. But we've seen one Marina, so it's still fine. I'll also be right back. Sorry, I'm going to leave you without a commentary for a little bit.
Okay, I'm back. Looks like we have Oak against Grid Square now. And it's actually quite a good fight so far. Grid Square having some experience with Calc. I'm not sure if he has experience with Connor so much, but he is still playing a very fundamental, solid game for the most part. So Oak is having to work for this one. Nice. Just goes forward with the X cut. It's a very nice angle to cut from in this matchup, as I'm sure has been made evident from some of the other matchups. It's very safe. It hits the arm if you're close enough, and it's often your fastest follow-up. But Oak does a good job of mixing it up as well. He doesn't stick with the same game plan the entire time, as I might do if I was playing this matchup, which isn't always a bad thing, but his knowledge of the character is pretty much showing. But sometimes that, like Venator is saying, it can cause you to feel some pressure. Now, Oak obviously isn't so much known for maining Connor anymore. He plays Yazek, but nevertheless, he put quite a bit of time in the Connor. He's been playing him for quite a while. The best Connor I've seen, I would say. And there's some good Connors out there. So many of them not active at the moment, but I think Oaks is the best. Mechanics, that's just how the matchup is. I didn't see anything strange in your fight. I was watching while I was getting coffee, so. Gets it in the end.
Okay, I am back right on time. Oak wins with Connor 7-4. In fact, Oak has pretty much mained all of these weapon types here at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And we are down with round 4 and we're moving into round 5. Oak, actually, please stay. No, he left. But I guess he can rejoin. We have 3 rounds left with 3 weapon types left. We have longsword, rapier, and the hybrid one. So it's definitely going to be very interesting. So Oak Apostle. Oak also on the left. Apostle. Oak has been fighting a lot recently. And let's see the weapon type that we're gonna get. Oh, it's the longsword. We're getting the longsword. Isabella and Zera. Isabella and Zera for round 5. Gonna see mechanics versus Subu. Rats versus me on longsword. That's definitely gonna be interesting. I don't think I've ever fought Rats as Isabella, or maybe I did, but I don't remember. A very strong Isabella player, so it's definitely gonna be a very interesting fight. And Grid Square versus Togoshi. Longsword. What's interesting is that the last 2 rounds are rapier and hybrid are probably the least used weapons in the game. Okay, so Oak versus Apostle. Subo, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Sometimes I'm just checking,
Yeah, it's all good.
just making sure that my my thing works. Yeah, I was pretty sure that there were going to be some comments about the pushing. If there's one character that can actually do very well against pushing, that's Connor, because
Yeah,
he can dash back, and
yeah,
the push has been nerfed, so it's very counterable. It was predictable,
yeah,
so yeah. But
yeah. You just gotta be quick. Yeah,
yeah, there was a time indeed where pushes and dash pushes were quite strong because you couldn't press back and um, and attack out of it, but that's all you have to do. Just
yep,
press back. So if it works, it
yeah,
works. So
yeah.
okay, Hook versus
Just gotta
Apostle.
get in that muscle memory, really. That's what it comes down to. And that'll come with practice.
Right. So Oak left side, Apostle right side, longsword. Isabella
Langschwert Gefechten. Yeah,
and
nice.
Zera. We get a Zera. I'm happy. I was actually thinking if we're gonna get a Zera, and we do get a Zera. I think we might actually get a Zera in your fight. Against mechanics. I remember that
I could see that, yeah.
mechanics used to play Zera a little bit, but last time
Yeah.
when he fought Grid, he also picked Isabella himself.
Nice exchange so far. Oak is actually in his element a little bit more than people might realize. He has practiced Isabella.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not like one of his mains, but he knows what he's doing as
I
far as the fundamentals of the character.
I always said it. He plays Isabella like a saber.
Yeah, yeah,
He's kind of throwing a bunch of forward cuts. Pretty linear. He's fighting mostly in close range than in long range, but it's actually not a bad Not a bad approach because Isabella can definitely be played like that.
Nice retreat attack there. Not quite a kill, but that's a pretty big hit to that stamina and the HP. Oh, but you don't want to take a hit.
3-2.
Ooh, Oak might have had a chance to punish that, but I don't blame him for backing off. Still got hit in the end.
Yeah, Apostle is able to score 2 flags in a row here. Nice retreat.
Nice.
Zera does have a bunch of weapons against Isabella, and if the Zera players knows what they're doing, it can be a very difficult fight.
Yep. Snap cut. Oh.
Wasn't
could have been
able to
anybody's,
land
it
that
felt like.
second attack there.
Yeah.
I think his sword got stuck there.
Yeah. Maybe Oak's attack collided and somehow messed it up. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably threw something. 6-3.
Yeah, 'cause usually if you just block it, you get block stunned. So
Yeah, nice upcut
that's
here by Apostle.
yeah, that was good. It's still a fight.
One thing that works when you're playing as Zera against Isabella, one thing that works is if you manage, nice, and Oak wins 7-4, is to kind of keep her inactive, like a little bit fearful, because then you can work and set up certain things with him that can bypass her guard. But again, easier said than done. Oak was was very active. He was throwing a lot, and 7-4. Apostle still did a pretty good job. Now we're gonna see Mechanics versus Subu. Pretty sure Subu's gonna go Isabella here. Mechanics, it remains to be seen. He used to play Zera at some point. We'll see if he picks Zera or if he goes with Isabella himself. Truth be told, if he goes Isabella, that's pretty much like it's a fight that definitely favors Subu more because Subu used to main Isabella and does play her quite often.
Yeah.
Still, Mechanics can play a good Isabella as well, so anything can happen. Yeah, Mechanics left side, Subu right side.
Alright, good luck, Mechanics.
Yeah, it goes with the young Zero. I would say, regardless of how this goes, I think this is a smart pick from Mechanics because he will bring to the table something different for Subu to think here. Because if it goes in an Isabella mirror match, Subu simply has more experience. And he manages to land that second attack. Pretty much a gamble, but it does work. First flag for Mechanics. Back to thrust. And a back thrust there from Subu. I haven't seen that move much. I know Tao likes to throw it every now and then. But it works here, and it works perfectly. Beautiful by Subu. Goes for the upcut, and then for a side step, 2-1. Isabella has a speed advantage over Zera. Not necessarily the speed in attack, as we can see here, but speed in movement, which can get Isabella into certain positions that would... nice upcut, that's a double. To this day, if I were to rank historically What's the hardest matchup for Isabella? I would say Zero. It's just that he's pretty much underplayed right now, 3-2, but still the hardest matchup. I would say he's harder than even another Isabella. The mirror match is not necessarily that difficult; it's just grindy. But against Zera, it's legit against obviously somebody that main Zera and is a very good player is a fight that is very difficult. 3-3. Yeah, solid effort from both. Good moments so far. Thrust to the face there lands. I'm not sure if Subu went forward there or simply bypassed the guard. That's a double. Oh, nice sidestep there. Subu read the mechanics' intention. That sidestep combo has a little bit of a wind up, and most people usually don't attack when they just kind of wait for it to finish and defend. But Subu calls it out, and that's kind of Subu's play style most of the times. He just kind of calls you out every time. There's not much of a trickery you can do against him. Oh, that second attack lands there right on the back of the head. And Mechanic still gets the flag. 5-5. Still a very good number of flags scored by both. And that's the purpose here. Yeah, and again that sidestep, Subu was making good work of it. Even though it's not like the best move ever. It doesn't have that much range. 6-5 for Subu. It's a double. Again, Subu calls mechanics out. Bunch of side steps there from Subu. Mechanics is patient. Goes for the back Y, blocked. The idea was good, but the timing wasn't perfect. And Subu's constantly moving to the side. Goes for the thrust and actually gets it because it was in close range. Well done by Mechanics there. 6-6. One more flag to play for. And it's a back Y. And the Subu wins. Very tough fight. But I would say deserved victory here from Subu. He dictated the pace, but still a good display from Mechanics with Zera. I think it was a successful pick, I would say. Yeah. Let's move on to the next fight. Rats versus me in longsword. Rats won the tournament yesterday using a longsword. Not the entire tournament, but
Yep.
in the last matches. So it's going to be a very interesting fight.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this one actually. Radzig showed great endurance and great fundamentals of Isabella, as well as some advanced techniques like the Posta de Donna.
Yeah.
The way they were using it is very different actually from the way you typically use it. So I'm really curious to see those two styles collide a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't used the Posta di Donna much lately. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it can be a very good tool.
Yeah.
But I did used to um, to use it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna see an Isabella mirror.
Yeah.
No surprises here, and I'm actually really glad I'm not fighting either of these two. Although Mechanics was tough as well. It's not to suggest anybody was gonna be easy. It's just these two are known for their Isabella, so it would have been tough. And that's what I love about the Hema fight in particular, just how many exchanges you can get in one fight. It was actually really cool, I thought. A lot of those later fights especially. And even my fight against Oak, that was special as well. But back to the fight. Radzig actually doing great so far, and managing to get a slight lead over Venator. This is going to be a grindy fight, I think, for Venator, regardless of how it goes. I like that he's moved to the taunt. That's how you know it's Venator without even seeing the names. You start seeing the taunts being thrown, and you just know from his style that it's him. And there we go, he's called out on it. Upcut attempt. And yeah, the taunts again. What he's trying to do with that, by the way, for those who are not aware, is he's trying to get that auto guard to open up a bit so he can land a quick hit to the hand or a snap cut like that. Something quick that can instantly hit the opponent. Radisuk has done pretty good so far at not falling for it, but that can still change, and the dash was a little bit of a misplay there. But I get it. Like, obviously Radzik is trying to get a decisive advantage, so trying to go for an early kill shot to get 2 flags above Venator is not a bad plan on paper. The problem, though, is that dash attack is often not the best move to be throwing, because it essentially gets Isabella really close to her opponent, so if it blocks, a lot of her openings are very available. But I have seen it used in Isabella mirrors, to be fair. There actually is a time and a place where it's great to throw that move, but against somebody experienced like Venator who's prepared for the attack, probably wouldn't throw it personally. I do like the attack, though, don't get me wrong. It reminds me of Kendo. I've pulled Venator before, and I'm sure Venator agrees. The snap cut there. And it's 3-3 now. It's far from clear who's going to win this. The Posta di Donna results in a double. At that range, I'm not so surprised, but it would have been very cool, obviously, if Radislik got a clean kill out of that. Both went for an attack, and Radislik was a bit later, but that's actually why he won that sort of exchange, that really brief exchange. Thrust attempt into back X. Those thrusts actually can be pretty good in the longsword fight in general, but you have to be really careful, because if you're throwing them too much, stuff like that can happen. But it can be a good way to target Isabella's face, and against Zera I showed you can target the hand with a thrust sometimes as well. Particularly if he's throwing a thrust himself. But you have to be picture perfect with the timing. I will echo what nice sidestep by Radzer, but I will echo what Venator said, that Zera can be very tough for Isabella. Having experienced the matchup, you do have to stay solid. Lateral movement is often your friend too. But it can also get you killed if you're not careful. So there's a bit of a balance to strike there. Posta di Donna briefly there by Radzik. Sidesteps there, back Y, a bit of an exchange now. Venator with the high guard trying to switch it up a little bit and get a powerful cut in there to threaten Radzik's guard, but it doesn't quite work. And there we go, he hit the cross guard there, or at least the strongest blade there. It wasn't quite able to break through as Venator was also attacking. Now, Posta di Donna cut often does break through the guard, but I do think many of these guard breaking moves, if you cut into them, I think you have a higher chance of stopping them because it's like the forward momentum of your blade is also interacting with the opposition. But it probably depends on some things. I'm not sure, but that's just a theory that I have as to why sometimes we're not seeing the breakthroughs we might always expect. And a lot of characters have moves like that. Even Hassan does, funnily enough. He has that half sorting draw cut to the neck or the head. Looks like Radzig is on the back foot, but he's still somehow making it a fight. Venator's having to work hard to get an advantage out of that. Really tough matchup. The taunt did not quite pay off there, but I like what Venator was doing there all the same.
It should have.
Yeah, I feel like it should have as well, but you know, these things happen. All the same, both staying fundamental. Cancel by Venator. Backs off a little bit low in stamina after the exchange, but nothing concerning. You find at top level, players don't really exhaust themselves for the most part, just by attacking. Usually what happens instead is that a player takes a hit and their stamina pool is reduced. So that is what results in people misjudging their stamina or just not having enough stamina to begin with to do much. It certainly does happen that people attack too much and get exhausted, but it doesn't happen often. Especially because the game is helpful with that indicator, which is a little subtle, but wow, snap cut. Yeah, Radzig Isabella, I'm really glad I didn't have to fight it here. That would have been tough. Very, very possible I could have lost, and that's a horrific wound there left by the high guard cut, as it should. That's a powerful slash. That's the new gore system that Isabella actually does have for some of her limbs. But it has to be a certain threshold of damage to do that. Sidestep by Venator, and actually works, although he did take a hit himself. I think it was well worth it. Essentially what happened there was Radzig did a slight hit to the shoulder, but it wasn't significant compared to Venator's hit. And also it was a shoulder hit, so less likely to kill. And it's a fight still. Venator can totally still win it, but it's a tough one for both. And the high guard landed, but so did the snap cut. Can tell Venator really wants to end it. I'm sure Radzig does too, but they have to stay patient. Patient while still exerting pressure. You don't want to completely give up exerting pressure. In this matchup, despite being so grindy, you do have to sort of poke and prod a little bit, see what your opponent does. And there we go, Venator with a nice counter.
Yeah, that was actually a wonderful fight, and
Yeah.
it was grindy like most Isabella fights are, but this one was actually enjoyable.
Yeah.
Rats is a very high level Isabella actually, very high level at this point. I mean, I always knew that they're a good Isabella, but this match, and actually I think this is the first time I've ever faced them, and it's definitely a combination of fighting, like having good fundamentals with a slight element of surprise, which was great. I really hope to see Rats again, maybe in the final tournament. Maybe we're gonna fight again, but that was a great fight. So
Yeah.
props. Okay, and we're down to the last fight of round five. Longsword. We're gonna see Grid fighting Togoshi. We know that Grid actually can play a little bit of Isabella. So let's see if Togoshi manages to get something going on here. This is also, they're both in somewhat of a difficult position here.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever wins this fight is going to have a chance of a higher position. And again, I really feel that it's funny that we got the rapier and the hybrid for the last two rounds, which are the most important,
Yeah.
and almost nobody here plays those weapons. I mean, they do. I mean, all of us kind of play those weapons every now and then, but they're not like mains or anything. So it makes it even more interesting. Grid is here. Togoshi is here. Grid on the left side. Togoshi on the right side. Longsword. Isabella Mirror.
Nice. Yeah, not a lot of Zera, but I'd say Zera can be rather complicated if you're not used to him. That makes sense. And Grid Square can play Isabella. I think Togoshi can as well, so from what I've seen, so yeah, I would have been actually very surprised if Zera was selected here. Bit of exhaustion there from Togoshi from whiffing, and there we go. Grid Square just goes in. Yeah, the dash and attack is very easy to punish if you're ready for it. There are situations where it will manage to land, especially if you're opposing a stab sometimes, although even with stabs you do have to be a little careful. You don't run onto the point, you want to lead with the cut if you can. But for the most part, and also the dash obviously is good to punish a big whiff or if the opponent's tired, but otherwise if your opponent's ready you really don't want to just throw it most of the time. Nice retreat attack there by Togoshi. Bit of a clash there, and a thrust to the face, but there's a nasty cut to the arm. Yeah, just forces that cut in after Grid Square used the snap cut. That is the risk with the snap cut, by the way. It may look like a safe move, and in some ways that is true. It is a nice, fast way to punish your opponent. But it is kind of, it leaves you flat-footed, if that makes sense. You're using one move and that's it. It's really fast, but you can't follow it up super easily compared to some of these combos. So if you're locked into doing the snap cut, you might have a faster attack, but your follow-ups might not be faster. And that's why those combinations can land in the midst of that. And I remember that was one of the balance debates we had with Isabella, like how often should she be able to just spam those snap cuts or the Y cuts. That was a whole thing that I won't bring up, but I will say in real life, longswords are pretty quick that way. That's why those snap cuts are so dangerous. You have two hands and you're using them to lever that long weapon to deliver a nasty cut. It's the same reason why you see that in Kendo as well. And it might look like a nothing burger as far as power, but I can tell you that leverage and that force you can put behind those cuts, especially if you dash into it. Like goodness, that's gonna split the skull right in half. And actually Togoshi's taking control, but Grid Square can still make some things happen here. Thrust attempt, but that is the danger of trying to stab in the mirror, is that sometimes you can be blade beat or attacked and interrupted. It's the trade-off of potentially being able, whoa, a ghost blade beat there, probably a cancelled cut, if I were to guess, but it did look funny. And yeah, just simple cuts there, but that's one really easy way to counter the stab if you're not quite prepared to long guard it. So Togoshi actually takes it. That was 7-4.
All right. I am back. Looks like Togoshi managed to win 7-4.
Mm-hmm.
Slight surprise here, I would say. And round 5 is over. We have 2 rounds left. Let's have a look at the rankings. I am number 1 with 34 points. 4 wins, 1 defeat, 15 points difference. Subu second with the same number of points but lower points difference. With lower points difference.
Mm-hmm.
Oak just 1 point behind at 33. Apostle number 4 with 30. Rats with 27. Mechanics with 25. Togoshi 18 and Grid Square 18. Uh, we still have 2 more rounds, and I feel the fight is up for grabs. And you two are actually fighting in the last round, so that could potentially be some
Yeah.
sort of final, depending on how things work.
Yep.
But yeah, first fight it's gonna be Subu versus Radzig. We'll see which weapon type though. Okay, we got 2 more options left, Rapier and the Hybrid. Here we go. And it's gonna be Hybrid.
Okay.
Jendrik, Kalkstein, Sava, or Jakub. The category with the most characters, all of them very different. Yeah, they're all actually very different. But more options to play here. So Subu is taking the left side. Rats is taking right side. And this is a round where I'm very curious to see what characters people are going to play.
Yeah, let's do the Calc Mirror. I was challenged to a Calc Mirror. I was gonna pick him anyway, so let's do it.
I'm also fighting Oak this round, and I'm pretty sure he's going to pick Kalk. I'm not really sure who to pick against his Kalk. Because picking Kalk is basically, you know, just being at disadvantage, but not really sure about the other characters though. Alright, Subu takes the second flag here. Oh yeah, pretty well-known combination. A 2-piece into the back X. Works here, 3-0 for Subu. Four one. We're Rats has had some really good performances throughout the tournament, but there were a few fights, this one included, where kind of dropped the they kind of dropped the initiative. Oh, Rats is tired. Dash into thrust. People can. Oh. They both went for the same thing, blocked each other. And here we go. Solid win here for Subu, 7-2, and Subu is also working on his points difference as well, which could potentially get him the win here. All right. Next fight is gonna be me versus Oak, and I'm really scared because I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know who to play. I know who Oak is gonna play, but
yeah. Oak is definitely the favorite here. Regardless of who he's fighting, I think his experience with Calc is truly something to behold.
yeah,
I wouldn't want to fight his Calc either in the Calc mirror.
very tough decision. But you know what? We're gonna go all in.
Okay, okay.
We're going all in.
You know,
here.
this this matchup can go well. Yendrick is obviously a little more zippy, causes some chaos. Calc will want to bring some order to this chaos. And you see the head glitch there. That's a pretty infamous recent bug that Yendrick has. It doesn't affect gameplay. It just looks funny, thankfully. High guard. Oh, he blocks it. Wow, he like just barely blocked it. His blade still got knocked, but somehow, I'm not even sure how, to be honest, Oak was able to hit the hand or something. Don't ask me what happened there. Nice, yeah, just applying pressure of Yendrick, keeping it simple. And good distance management on Venator's part so far, despite being aggressive. It definitely is showing. He's aggressive when he sees an opportunity. And, oh, yeah. Oak has to change something here. He cannot allow Venator to walk all over him like this. Oh, I like what Oak's trying, but the pressure of Yendrick is too much. I wonder if a different cut angle would have worked better. I still like the basic principle of what Oak was doing. Just, you know, trying to clear space and get out of there. It's just, the move choice perhaps wasn't correct. But this is a tough Yendrick to fight, actually, it turns out, so. Ooh, you gotta watch those whiffs, but I like that Oak is taking space away. Actually, whiffing sometimes isn't that bad of an idea if you're trying to bait the opponent in. Actually, that was nice by Oak. Yeah. With Calc, you sometimes see Calc players throw combinations out of measure, and it might look like you're making a mistake, but sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're just taking space away from Yendrick, and yes, you're spending some stamina, but you're preventing him from getting in, because he knows that if he tries, he will take a hit. And the jump actually, he misses the follow-up, but the jump works, and surely, yes, he does take it eventually, but Goodness. Yeah, if Cal gets tired, it's pretty much game over. But it's still a fight. Ooh, the whiff, and I see what Oak was trying there. He did get a graze, but he didn't quite get what he was hoping for there, which was a perfect hit with the back X. There's a stab, though, and I like that Oak is coming back to life. This is what he needs. Bit of a ghost blade beat again. It's a little bizarre when it happens, but it doesn't usually impact anything because when it does happen, it's too far away to sort of affect anything most of the time. Ooh, nice fainting there by Oak. Just enough deception, but also taking space away from Venator, which is very, very important. Big slash, but Venator is a little sharper here. High guard. The neck stretching just... it can be quite distracting. I hope Venator's not being distracted by it too much.
Yes! Oh,
And
no!
oh,
No!
oh man! I thought you had it as well. That was a late double. The slow-mo can be deceptive too.
Yeah,
As far as the actual timing.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
I do like it, but yeah.
It was a great fight nonetheless.
Oh yeah, yeah. Venator's doing a fantastic job. It's hard to keep a straight face with the stretching, but there we go.
Yeah, GG.
That same combo. It's my favorite combo of Calc, and I'm glad to see Oak using it too.
Yeah, I didn't have too many ideas in this one, but I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
Still scored 6 out of 7. Just throwing bunch of moves there. He was throwing that combo there that I didn't know exactly how to deal with, but yeah,
yeah.
props. Okay. Now we're gonna see Apostle versus Grid. Grid is here. Man, I was so happy when I landed that attack.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah. I
uh,
don't blame you.
I think I kind of lost focus then on the last one, but it was fun
Yeah.
though, and I think it was probably it definitely worked in the idea of that it
Hmm.
wasn't a comfortable fight for Oak there. You could see that he was kind of trying to anticipate the dash ins, and it was pretty much a gamble.
Yeah.
Okay, so Apostle is left side and Grid Square right side. So hybrid Yen, Kalk, Sava, Jakub. Here we go. Kalk for Grid. Yeah, Grid does play Kalk. And we might see another Yendrik versus Kalk here. I'm actually quite curious to see how this one goes.
Yeah. It's definitely a matchup I can see going either way. It's
Yeah.
up to Calc though, I think, to sort of get out of his shell a little bit and use those cuts to take space away from Yendrick. Maybe those stats too, those work
Oh,
pretty
nice.
well. The worst thing you can do as a Calc is sit there and try and sort of defend yourself against
Yeah.
that onslaught of Yendrick. You will eventually be hit.
Yeah, that was my reasoning too, which was I felt that I'm just gonna get picked apart if I pick anybody else. Like, just not gonna be able to outsmart him with any of the other characters.
Yeah, chop is a classic, and he actually blade beat on that combo. You can blade beat Yendrick by hitting the tip of the weapon.
Oh,
Right to the knee,
nice,
that would
nice.
hurt so much. You're going down if that happens.
I definitely feel that Yendrick is, I wouldn't say
Nice.
a solid character. He's quite peculiar because he has a different weapon. He doesn't really follow the same rules of the game. But I feel Yendrick
Hmm.
is a very good character. Um,
Yeah.
or okay, not very, but a good character. Like what he does well.
Yep.
And if you use his strengths, which is like moving back and forth, using his range, using his ability to bypass guard, you can definitely be competitive with him.
Yeah. Some of the newer guys were disrespecting his name a little bit, and I get why. He definitely doesn't play at all the same as the others, but I do think he is.
Yeah, I
He
think
has a lot
he's
of
quite
potential.
dangerous. He's quite dangerous,
Yeah.
even if you're playing a stronger character. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Still got some blood there, and
Oh,
nice
beautiful
rust.
from Grid.
I like the usage of that jab. The liver shot is what it's called in the game.
Oh,
Nice tight
nice.
move, and there we go.
Yeah, and there you go. Yendrek wins 7-4 for Apostle. And we have one more fight in round 6, which is Togoshi versus Mechanics using the hybrid characters. Togoshi is here. What I like about the new challenge ranking thing is that we can see in real time, even after this tournament, we can see how many points players got and what's the current ranking. So we're basically doing it, live before going into the last tournament. The last tournament that's going to
Right.
have 9 people competing. Actually, Captain Adler has freely given up his place today for a better, um, you know, way of doing the competition. So he is going to be invited in the last one, but he said it himself, and I'm actually quite appreciative of the way that he handled it. He said that he wants to fight the number 8 guy in a preliminary round in order to obtain his participation in the final tournament. So that is great.
Nice.
Togoshi's here. Who else we need? Mechanics. Mechanics right side. Here we go. And after that, we move into the last round where things can be decisive. Okay, Mechanics is here. Here we go. Togoshi left, Mechanics right. Hybrid.
There you go. Caught the dagger to start off. Maybe that's a good sign, but got stabbed in the face right after. Still caught it though. Sava against Calc is interesting. Sava likes he's kind of strange. He plays the zoning game, I would say, primarily. You'd think he likes brawling with the fact that he has a dagger and stuff like that, but his saber's big and his moves are really more built for zoning, with the dagger being more as an afterthought. So he's a little bit unsure of what he wants to be. But compared to most sabers, he does have a fair bit of reach, so he can compete pretty well against Calc's reach. I would say Calc overall still has the reach advantage just because his blade is straight and he has more straight sort of forward attacks, but it's not that big of a difference. And actually, sometimes Calc, switches legs, and believe it or not, the reach changes completely if you do that, because the sword is no longer so far in front of you, and Sava might actually then have more reach with certain moves and whatnot. Tarna has a similar effect as well, but it depends on the attack. He actually throws quite a bit of his body into them, so he can have really surprising reach. So Goshi doing great with Sava though. I'm really happy with what I'm seeing so far. Just keeping it simple, using him as a saber. Going in and out, but there's the stab. Nice by mechanics. Calc is great at doing that, just inserting a stab when you least expect it. Big cut there gets blocked, and then an instant counter. Not quite a kill, it was a bit of a graze, but there we go, there's the hand taken right off. Those cuts are powerful from Calc. And I dare say Calc hits harder than Sava when it comes to the cutting. Doesn't necessarily matter if Sava is precise with his attacks, of course, but I would say the damage numbers are definitely in Calc's favor here. But he still doesn't want to be, taking snap cuts like that or anything like that. There we go, straight to the hand. I suspect the angle of the attack let him get under the arm a little bit. That is where there is a gap in the hand protection. Which there has to be if you want to be able to hold your sword. There we go, straight to the head. A little bit faster. Togoshi making good use of that. I think it's forward wide, I'm not sure. Just a quick little cut to the head to beat Calc to the punch. It is faster, so Calc has to make use of his reach to deny. There's a similar theme, like this is how you just use Calc in general. Just denying space with the reach of your weapon. They both really play the zoning game really well. And I'm glad to see Sava doing well as well, because a lot of people obviously, again, consider him weak, and I'm not suggesting they're wrong. I do think he has some fundamental problems. But I am glad to see that people are making him work and moving back there, but I think that actually put him in danger. Perhaps he should have squared up against that attack. Yeah. Mechanics is kind of giving up a lot of initiative to his opponent. I think he needs to come back to life if he wants to win this.
Yeah, it's quite surprising the evolution of Togoshi. He wasn't doing very well, but he managed to win against the Grid in a fight that wasn't necessarily in his advantage matchup wise. And now he might get another solid win against the Mechanics. So who knows? Maybe he's going to score a higher position in the ranking.
Yeah, and you can see Mechanics behind in this exchange over, although he does get a nice hit. That was a good thrust, but not quite getting the kill. Oh, he still got the double with the grazing hit there. Yeah. But the head is a squishy target in this game, so that's how it is. Nice hit though from nice, and then keeps going.
That's it. 7-3, very solid win for Togoshi here. And we're down to the last round, which can be anything else but a rapier round. So let's have a
Mm-hmm.
quick look at the rankings right now. Number one is Subu, 41 points scored. I am second with 40. Oak is also has 40 points. Apostle number four with 37. Rats with 29. So it's a little bit of a gap between the top four and the last four. Rats with 29, Mechanics 28, Togoshi with 25, and Grid Square with 22. So I believe there is a little bit of a fight in the lower part of the rankings as well, but in the first part too, in the upper part as well. Um, Mainly, the only people that can win the tournament here are Subu, me, and Oak. What a surprise, right? Um, Subu is in pole position here, which means that if Subu wins, he will win the tournament. If Oak wins the fight, then it depends on the score, and it
Yeah.
depends on what I do in my fight. So, in order to keep things very interesting, the Oak versus Subu fight is going to be last. So it
Mm-hmm.
will serve like some sort of final. But for Subu, things are very clear. If you win, then you win the
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go for the rapier round. Here we go. Rats versus Togoshi is next. And again, a reminder after this one, there's going to be a final tournament of the month. Everybody from this tournament will be invited. I'm going to send you a link. Nobody else can participate, unfortunately. Of course, for except Captain Adler. But the position that you get here will be quite important because number one is going to face number eight, number two is going to face number seven, number three is going to face number six. So, depending on where you land, that's the opponent that you're going to get. But in the final tournament, it's going to be pretty simple best of three, 7 flags. You can pick any character you want, just like a regular tournament, and you work your way up. There's going to be a third place match as well, but it's going to be just one set of 7 flags, just to save time since it's only for statistics.
Yeah.
Okay, Rats versus Togoshi now. Rats is here. Togoshi on a good run now. Managed to score 2 wins. Yeah, so this is Rapier. So only Marie or Marta can be chosen. Rats on the left, Togoshi on the right. Here we go.
Okay, both starting with long guard, crossing swords a little bit, feeling each other out. A bit of an exchange. Neither fighter trying to overextend, as that is an easy way to be hit.
Yeah, really interested to see if we're gonna see some Marta gameplay in this round. I know that you also play Marta very well.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if you're gonna pick her or maybe somebody else is going to pick her. We have a very good pick rate here tonight. The only characters that weren't picked on top of my head were Gideon in the first round
Yep.
and Jakub now in this
Yeah.
this round. But I would say it's even if Marta does not get picked here in this round, I think you know having picked almost all characters except three is a pretty good pick rate
Yeah,
if you want.
yeah. There's been quite a bit of variety for sure.
Here we go. 3-0 for Togoshi,
Togoshi. Mm-hmm. Oh, a bunch of hits.
and he might get
Not
his
quite perfect, but
third win here. Yeah.
yeah. And the blade away. Obvious bait, but he slowly walks forward and then does the attack when Radizit starts dashing forward. Nice read there. I like that he didn't just go all in right away. That's obviously what Radizit wanted. But he
Um,
still applied pressure.
I also want to reveal something, which is this month. So the roles of this month are going to be. Oh, point of view camera.
Yeah, we couldn't see anything. Cameraman.
So it's gonna be obviously the first place. It's gonna be top five, and number 6 to number 10 are going to get the new title that is called expert.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this expert title is going to be quite dynamic. It's always going to depend on the number of people competing in a month. And it will
Yeah.
go up to top 15, but only if we have 30 plus competitors. Um,
Right.
the logic for that is we want the expert title, which is going to be the orange title, as people are know about it. It's never going to be more than 50% of the people competing. So when you get it, you know for a fact that you are above average. Like in that month, you
Mm-hmm.
were above average, and you deserve the. This month we have around 20 players, which means that only 10 players are going to get roles. So even if some players here are not going to get top 5, they still got an opportunity to get a top 10, which is also pretty selective. The goal was to make the orange rank to feel like something that is above average and not just a participation trophy as many people saw it.
Yeah. Blade beat attempt. Another one, but good movements by Radizig. There's a
Oh,
blade beat. And then a bunch of attacks.
oh,
Misses the
missed.
last one because of the thrust there. It's a similar move actually to the back X. So you can use it in basically the same way. For calc, it's the same type of thing. I'm still surprised though. I think maybe if Radizig was a bit more precise with the moves picked, perhaps it would have been a kill, but it's tough to say. Sometimes that's what it is in this game. You're a little bit too slow on your follow-up, even though you seem to be hitting the opponent and doing some sort of combo, and your opponent can do some quick, attack to interrupt it.
Yeah, Rats is coming back in this fight.
Yep.
5 to 3. Also play for from here.
Threatening the dash. That's actually a classic Marie tactic, but it can be dangerous if you're not careful, as
Yeah.
we see here.
And a little bit unrelated, but I've always liked, but just looking at these fights, I'm liking even more the 7 flag matchup.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so balanced from all points of view. So not too few, not too many. Good chances of
Yeah.
comeback. Good chances of taking the lead. It just kind of feels right. And I
Yeah.
think Kubal did a great job of making the 7 flags like the last number that is that has this visual, the flag visual. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy like the progress of it. When you see how
Yeah.
many flags you scored. Uh,
Yeah.
I do enjoy fights that have more flags as well, depending on the context.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Hema mode or something else. Oh, Rat's coming back actually. but I
Yeah,
feel like 7 is just like the best number that
yeah,
you can get.
yeah. I completely agree.
And it's also that most people have been conditioned to fight uh, by USFC, by the
Hmm.
tournaments. You also run your tournaments on 7 flags. I've also always ran my tournaments on 7 flags, so I think people
Yeah,
just kind of got conditioned to it. Anyway, back to
nice.
the fight. Rats is able to use their experience and comes back and wins this fight 7-5, and uh, this is why this 7 flag system works, because Rats was behind but was able to come back without that much effort. We're gonna see grid versus mechanics now in Rapier. Oh, grid had a problem. I hope it's fine now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes just literally trying again fixes it too, which is funny.
Right side Rapier. It's today. It's today. Oh, Grissa, can I go first next round? Sorry, I didn't see it, but you're going now.
Yeah, thankfully you're only the second fight, so.
Um, of course, if you have to do something else, or so you're obviously not obligated to compete in the final tournament after this. Um, I am since we have those 8 spots, I'm obviously happy to give Captain Adler his spot. But if there's somebody else that can't play, I'm happy to give the spot to whoever comes in, just to make sure that we have 8 people.
Yeah.
Here we go, another Marie fight.
Bit of a exchange here. They've both taken some damage. Again, nobody looking to overextend. Mechanics does get a nice hit though, as Grid Square was doing an attack. Dash into the triangle. Didn't actually complete the full animation because of the hit, but it was nevertheless a full-on stab, so a perfect hit nevertheless, even if the full style points were not achieved there, thanks to the stab to the leg. And there we go, right to the body. Mechanics just keeping it straightforward, and I like that he's coming out of his shell a little bit this time and attacking. It's a great way to especially punish Marie if she overextends. There's a good hit by Grid Square. Mechanics not quite getting the kill there. He was a little too close, I think, for that particular thrust, as the point didn't actually connect. Rapiers are a little bit distance sensitive. You have to be careful not to graze too much, otherwise you won't get the full damage. Thankfully, with the changes to Marie, generally speaking, if you're hitting correctly, you will get the full damage. And when she is hitting with her full damage, she actually does hit pretty hard. She can be one of the hardest hitters in the game, actually, but only from that specific range is the key. So it's a matter of picking the correct moves at the right time. But her guard's not the best. I mean, certainly just fine against other rapiers. It has no trouble blocking stuff as needed, but it can be crashed through with sabers and long swords especially, if you're not careful. But Mechanics is doing great with Marie. He needs one more to get a decisive win here. Seen a little bit of a change. He's a lot more confident with this lunge. He knows how to place it, and there it is.
That's it. Mechanics wins 7-1. And this is a very good win for him. Okay, just asking Grid if he can compete in the last one. Okay. Alright, which means that Captain Adler is going to take his place, so we're gonna have 8 people joining. And we're gonna have our 8. Okay, we got 2 more fights, and we're about to get to the end of this tournament. We have 3 people that can win the tournament here. We'll see what happens. We're gonna do my fight first against Apostle, because in the other fight between Oak and Subu, there is one player in Subu that can win the tournament by just winning the fight. Oak and I kind of depend on what the other does and score. Actually, Subu, even if Subu loses this fight with 7-6, he can still be in contention. Actually, no, because Oak has a superior points difference. Yeah.
Yeah, it's by a little bit, but it's enough.
Yeah.
If it's a bit
So you
higher,
have to
then
win.
he wins.
You have to win.
Yeah.
Okay. Oak is here, but we're not gonna do Oak's fight. We're gonna do my fight against Apostle first, because we want to keep it engaging for the end. If I lose here against the Apostle, then the fight between you two becomes a proper final.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, whoever wins wins the tournament. But Apostle actually has an interesting opportunity here, which is to get into top 3. He's number 4 right now, a little bit behind, but with a good win here at a good points difference, or if the other fight is lopsided, he could get into top 3. All right, here we go. Apostle left side. I am on the right. Rapier fight. All right, and we see Marta. We get Marta today. Here we go.
This is a matchup that can go either way. Apostle more experienced with Marta. If I were to bet just based on character, though, I do think Marie actually does have the edge in this matchup. I think Marta does better in certain matchups than Marie does. Like against Zara, for example. I think Marta does a lot better, or against Connor. But As far as the rapier match, I do tend to favor Marie. I think Marie's just more active, although this cut combination, the Postal basically using the rapier like a saber here. But it does work once you get the first hit in. It was a lot of hits, but, you know, the rapier's not really designed for cutting, but it can still do so. And actually, a good hit to the head will still kill the opponent just the same as any other. So they can
Oh
be
wow.
quite dangerous from Marta. Yeah, it just went all the way through.
That thrust was felt.
Yeah. Some attacks there. There's the cut to the head that I was talking about. If Marta makes it messy, I think Marta can definitely produce some surprises regardless of the advantages Marie enjoys. It's a matter of getting there in the first place, though. Nice by Apostle. Keeps up the pressure a little bit. Really subtle, but gets the hand there. Some sidesteps. You do have to be careful with Marta. Obviously, sidestepping is a sort of a meta strategy with her. But if you give up control of the middle, sometimes Marie can shoot in and hit you. Just like that. You often want to make sure you're sort of contacting the rapier as you sidestep, which is not always so easy. Marie, like, she kind of keeps her rapier a little bit retracted, so. And she probably, I would say, has ways to counter that if that's your intention. To zero a single tempo. Yeah, just going straight forward, keeping it simple. Venator knows Marie pretty well, so no surprise that he's proving pretty tough here. Yeah, pretty simple game plan from Venator, but it works beautifully. He
Yeah.
spaces that lunge perfectly.
GG. Some nice plays there from Apostle early on. Kind of surprised me with some things, but I'm glad that the simple gameplay, as you mentioned, worked well here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now I'm just waiting for the result of your fight. I also think I got a good points difference here, and
Mm-hmm.
it's actually quite simple here. So obviously, if you win, then you win the tournament. But if Oak wins, he will have to win at a pretty big points difference in order to
Yeah.
win the tournament. Uh, Also, Apostle, thank you very much for playing. Hope to see you in the next one as well. You are invited. And yeah, Oak is here, and we are basically in what is a final.
Mm-hmm.
Oak is left side. Subu is right side. Subu, I'll be very honest with you. I like you very
Mm-hmm.
much, but I am rooting for Oak here.
I understand. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, you do the same. You do the same. I'm
Yep.
rooting for
Yeah.
Oak here. I'm gonna try to be impartial with my commentary, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a good fight regardless. Yeah, let me give you
Yeah.
control.
Mm-hmm.
I would favor you slightly here because although uh, none of you really play Rapier that much, I feel like you're a little bit more effective. But
Mm-hmm.
probably the biggest mistake you'd make is to underestimate Oak's Rapier's skills because he can definitely beat anybody. Here we go. Oak starts strong with the first flag. Oak not only needs to win, but he also needs to win at a pretty big points difference. So I'm sure we're gonna see a good gameplay here from him. 1-1. Yeah. So go on the defensive, and he scores the second flag. 2-1. Oh, and and Subu actually gets the cut there. Nice, 3-1. Oak punched him, but he wasn't able to score the kill. Nice forward thrust. Subu was also getting ready to throw something, and Oak just anticipated 3-2. I think this is going to be a close fight. For Oak, it's not only double. It's not only the idea of winning the tournament, but it's also getting second place in the tournament. He's basically fighting for winning the month, and getting second place here can definitely help him a little bit more. So far, Subu has taken control 4-2. Oh, an Inquartada 4-3. Subu is just 1 point over Oak, and if Oak wins, he will be able to surpass him on points difference. Double lunge, moves back from the Subu's double lunge. Subu is looking very good here in this one. Yeah, dropped his guard there, but he's looking. He feels in control of the fight. Oak is kind of rushing his attacks. Double lunge. Yeah, double lunge is tricky, but Subu lands it perfectly here in perfect distance. 5-4. Oh, perfect forward thrust there by Subu, and Subu needs only one more in the last three in order to win the tournament, and if he does, it would be deserved. Oak scores another thrust there. Last two flags, or last flags, depending on what happens. Subu is aggressive, throwing a bunch of thrusts, lands a few of them. Oak manages to escape. And Oak actually wins the flag, and we're down to the last flag. Wow, this can't get any better in this tournament. A lot of things can change with only one flag here. If Oak gets this flag... Oh! And Subu gets it like right at the last moment. GG. GG.
Good
Beautiful.
game. Man, I thought I lost that. The moment like I kind of whiffed there, I thought Oak was going to annihilate me, but thankfully that punch came in clutch. Nice fight.
Yeah. Beautiful, and all the fights at the top basically ended with 7-6. So there was a last flag. So if Oak or I basically, like, if we think about losing the tournament, it was basically lost in these last flags. So yeah, congratulations, Subu wins the
Thanks.
tournament with 48 points. I am number 2 with 47. Oak is number 3 with 46. Apostle number 4 with 40 points. Rats number 5 with 36. Mechanics number 6 with 35. Togoshi number 7 with 30. And Grid is last with 23. Grid will not be able to compete in the next one, but Captain Adler is going to take his place. And this is going to be interesting because Captain Adler is taking Grid's place, but he's facing Subu in the first round, so it's going to be quite interesting. Hopefully everybody involved will be able to play. So let's end the tournament and have a look at the rankings. Hopefully it updates immediately. Monthly ranking. will share my screen in a second. Oh, Swiss Olympics July is not here actually. I'm just going to save the changes. Queue for update. It's gonna take a few minutes until it updates. Oak will definitely be in pole position, but Subu will be in a very good position himself. I'm just updating the rankings. I will share my screen immediately after it's done. Yeah, we are. We have the results. Let's have a look. Oak is still number one with 48 points, scored 7 on this tournament. Subu is number 2 with 41, scored 15. So if Subu wins the last one and Oak finishes maybe third or fourth, Subu could actually win the month. I am number 3. I got 10 points. I'm with 34 points. Mechanics is fourth with 30. Rats is fifth with 25, and Grid Square 21, and Captain Adler 18. And this is interesting because Captain Adler gave his spot in the in the previous one, but could potentially make it in top 5 here with a good performance. So yeah, it all depends on what happens on the last tournament. This could go in many different ways depending on what happens. But obviously, Oak has the best chance of winning the month. So we're gonna be back in about 10 minutes with the final tournament. We're gonna have a new stream. Everybody that competed in this tournament is invited. I will send the link, and as I said, it's gonna be best of 3, 7 flags, single elimination tournament. Subu, I guess you're going to be around for the next one as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Congratulations again for winning the qualifiers, the qualifier
Thanks.
tournament, and
Hmm.
I'll see you on the last one.